Damn, son, where'd you find this?
Brick shots with Billy Antonio.
Fit them old bricks. Ballin' like a with all these bricks.
Welcome back, man. Episode 116. Brick shots with Billy Antonio. Everybody's still loving the intro. I've actually got a lot of feedback. What's funny, last week when we've done it a bunch, I think Matt drawing so much attention to it got the attention of the fans a little bit, so that's good. How's everybody doing? Everybody cool? Antonio's a fresh shaven man. I said he looks like Tommy from Martin, and he got upset with me, even though that's exactly who he looks like.
That's racist. Like,
how's it racist?
Because you look like it's going to get worse as the show goes on.
Zohan got a hold of him. Silky
Smooth. Twice, bro.
Okay, give me a celebrity.
Let me explain two things to you why it's racist.
Okay.
First off, he darker than me. Second of all, sure. Billy and Matt and Chris know I got a fucking job, bro. Tommy ain't have no job. That's racist as fuck, bro. Like, what's up with you, dog? That's fucked up. Yeah, you see, now you're rethinking it, right?
So again, I didn't say Tonio acts or Tonio job status is exactly like.
You gotta have certain characters to be the person. Like, you can look like somebody and not look like them. You gotta have some of their characteristics too. I'm not black.
No, you don't.
And I got a job, Billy.
Who's the black guy that looks like Dave Chappelle? I don't know his name.
Evil Dave Chappelle?
Yeah. He has a real name.
That's his fucking brother, I think. It's not.
No, it's not.
We've got every demographic of hair types on here. We got bald guy. We got bald guy with beard. We got clean shaven guy. We got a guy with a mustache. Like, we've just got it all over here.
We do that at Brick Shots. Billy, give me a second. I didn't show them last week. I want to shout out Butler, Dre, and Darian for my birthday gifts. So this is one pair.
Squeeze them.
What are those, 11s?
No, these are 5s.
Squeeze the soul, see if they're fake.
They look like 60 pluses.
Right.
Huh?
They look like the 60 pluses, just with a different kind of pattern.
And these right here. So I want to shout out them guys for the birthday gifts, man. You know, that's like some dope ass.
You got better friends than me.
Yeah, you just got Billy, bro. Billy don't even text me back. He called me last on my birthday.
Exactly. I was the last person you spoke to before you went to bed. I made sure that was what happened.
Yeah. Chris, 2 days, 3 days, 2 days, right? In the studio.
Studio Sunday. The Tesla show is in 2 days.
Okay, I got them mixed up.
The Sunday.
I got them mixed up. So you doing the show before the studio?
Yeah.
He did. Remember, he had his press time last time.
Oh yeah, who you going in the studio with? Your band or some different people?
Studio is going to be with Coilback. The show Friday is with LSD.
That's hard, but y'all go out there if y'all in the DFW. I think I got it right, Billy. The DFW area, man. Make sure y'all supporting Chris, Matt, and Billy and me are sad because today was results day, and me and Billy's rate, a lot of people didn't make it.
Yeah.
And me and Matt both was fighting off these P's, but fuck them.
That's not what you think it is.
Yeah,
No
that's
Diddy.
not what you think about it. No Diddy for sure. But me, Billy, and Matt probably got EPs going into the next one. So hey, let's see what that looks like.
Yeah, we'll see.
See what that looks like. Billy.
Real fast before we got off of the making it, I want to give a shout out to Justin, who did make CS1. Really happy for that dude. Friend of the show, friend of mine.
Oh, well, you're a friend of the show. You're a friend of mine, man. Congratulations, CS1. You get in there, man, and tell them people to let y'all season off script. Michelle Obama not in the White House no more. We can be fat again.
Send some of that extra money this way, though. To the show's way.
Yeah. Go ahead, Tony. You're about to go into the next thing.
Oh, yeah. Well, Billy, let's take it somewhere then. You know
Okay.
it. You know where it is.
Gentlemen, report to the baseline. To the baseline!
Now, for the people who don't get the behind the scenes text from, we should probably start putting more of those in the chat or into the show. But Chris, Antonio have been going back and forth about the Great White Hope Luka and how he sucks because he is white. Now,
Or the Great White Hopeless, as Tonio likes to call him.
yeah, okay. Now, I've been on Chris's side for this just by saying his arguments for, if we could just break it down, his arguments for Luka not being him and not being the man. It just seems like if you're watching the games, when Luka hits that three, Luka hits the three. Robert Horry could be him because he hit the shots. Now, Luka obviously is more of a superstar than a Robert Horry. Correct me if I'm wrong, Antonio, right?
Yeah, of course.
Okay. But Big Shot Bob, that's literally the guy's name. So does that make him or not?
Him in the moment.
Him in the moment. So, okay, with that, I got some stats pulled up. I know Chris is our typical statistician, but after watching the game, I had to sit here and be like, there's no way my best friend is this fucking crazy where he is just going off rip. So I had to look at some of the stats, and I'm not fully agreeing with Tonio, but I am understanding a lot more where he came from after you look at every stat. If you dive into the big ones, obviously for the NBA, because who gives a shit about your plus minus. But I will say too, last week we didn't take it to the baseline because it was more of an argument segment, so I didn't want to take away from Chris's glory for that. Now I am going to hand it off to Tonio and see where you want to start with this.
I always like to let Chris go so I can. I'm a rebuttaler. I'm not a. I have
no. But Tonio, if just humor me and just let me know why the argument is where it is.
I'm not silly, and I know people might think I am because I got a bare face right now. I'm not silly, but I know Luka is a superstar. I know Luka is a superstar, but I just want Luka doesn't get any of the negative connotations that other superstars get. It's either Luka was great or Luka's team let him down. Like you don't see him getting the KD treatment, the Devin Booker treatment, the Bron, Steph. Well, Steph don't really get no treatment either.
He did get kind of shitted on for those finals that he wasn't an MVP until his last one. We get right.
Kinda don't count.
Okay,
that don't count. Steph and Luka might be like the same as the least criticized superstars that we've ever seen. And that's all I want Chris to acknowledge is that in some of those moments, Luka doesn't show up big. Like, I don't care about a last minute three that should never have been called a foul. Like that was a bad call. It was a great shot, cool, he made it, but it was too late. What happened to those 2 free throws that you drove to get and you missed? Now, Chris, Kyrie missed free throws, he on my ass. Hey, there go Kyrie missing. Luka missed. Well, Kyrie missed before him or turned the ball over. And it's like the blame game. Like, and I think generally that's what, and not Chris, because that's my own boy, but generally people that don't really pay attention to sports is just like, nah, it ain't Luka. And I think him being at the level that he is, it's time for him to start taking some of that blame. Like when the Bucks lost, Giannis, they blame Giannis. When the Sixers get put out, they go straight to Joel. Like, hey, where the process at? Where this at? Like, it's every superstar except for Luka. Luka's been there. Like, he's been in the playoffs. He's been in the conference finals the last 2 years.
2003.
Not last year. The year before last and this year. When they lost, ain't nobody say, hey, Luka didn't show up. They just was like, this Mavericks team is ass. But it wasn't because they got to the Western Conference Finals. Like, it's just a lot, bro. Like, last year when the Lakers got swept, hey, well, LeBron should have had 2 more points in him. He should have, the game was right there. Even this year. Yeah. Hey, from Billy and me. LeBron could have. Billy said he should have made that 3. I said, well, I think he should have took a better shot than the 3.
Yes.
But
you could say two things are true in that.
Yeah, but no blame for nobody else but the superstar. So that's what I'm saying. I'm saying in these moments because we can't diminish the fourth quarter when even Reggie Miller then was like, well, Kyrie was quiet in the first half, and then every second half when he started heating up, they like, every game. That's been every game, and we've seen Luka. The game before Luka hit that game-winning three, Luka was quiet as fuck for 11 minutes.
Yeah.
Now, 45 seconds he hit a three. Now it's the Luka show again.
Yeah.
That's just not how it works. That's when you brought up that Kyrie big shot or the Ray Allen big shot. Everybody sees that one shot, but nobody talks about, hey, LeBron got the chase down. LeBron scored the 8 before Kyrie hit the shot. Then LeBron sealed the game with the game-winning free throws. Nobody talks about that. The Ray Allen shot. Nobody talks about LeBron scoring the last 13 of the 16 points. Like coming down, hitting 2 3s, got his rebound, shot it back up again.
Yeah.
Nobody talks about that. Blocking Tim Duncan. Nobody says anything about that. They always say, well, Ray Allen saved him. But who saved the team? If Ray Allen saved the superstar, who saved the team?
Bingo.
If Kyrie saved the superstar, who saved the team? So that's what I'm saying. Like, I think where me and Chris, and I like it because it's exciting. It keeps the game like more fun than it is because I gotta watch Rudy Gobert get cooked for 40 minutes. Talking to Chris keeps it exciting, but I want Luka to, because I'm not gonna sit here and say, hey, Luka trash. Luka's a top 10 player in NBA, maybe top 5. Maybe top five. Probably top 5. I'm trying to think. I don't want to diminish. Yeah, probably top 5. If not top 5, definitely top 7, but probably top 5.
There we go.
I'm not saying that, but I just want him to have some accountability taken for himself. Like, hey, you are this superstar. When the Nuggets lost, who they blame? Joker.
Yeah.
Because he is that superstar. He's the reigning MVP. Luka was number 3 in MVP votes. Yeah. If they lose that game last night, that's on Luka. It ain't no Kyrie turning over. You ball dominant all game. You can't shy away from them moments. And that's all I'm saying. I know Chris got a dope rebuttal, but
I actually agree with a lot of what you said there. You was compared to how you been in our group message.
Get the fuck out of here. That's not real. That's not real.
So let's have the show. 5 seconds. All right, great.
No, we covered this a little bit last week. I think a lot of it just comes down to, like, we talk about the team context, and like he hasn't been a favorite. I think that's why he escapes a lot of criticism, and he's showing out. He's putting up the numbers he needs to. Like I mentioned before, I think with you, when you had the thing with Bron, where he averaged like Luka's finals or his playoff averages in that finals against Golden State, where he lost in 7 games.
Yeah,
we didn't blame Bron for that loss because he was like 35, 12, and 10 or some shit.
But
like Luka's done that.
I mean, well, I did because, like I said, man, I know being a fan, like we all got favorite players, and being an actual sports fan, and now that we commentated, I gotta blame Bron for the loss because, hey, bro, like instead of I don't know, instead of blaming George Hill or J.R. Smith when he caught the rebound, you fucking know they got a timeout. You're LeBron James. If you do this, hey, the game fucking stopping, Chris. That's not all entirely on J.R. Smith not knowing because the smartest person on the court at the time was LeBron James.
Yep.
Instead of doing this, hey, you can't do that. And Chris, LeBron take a lot of breaks. I know you're old as fuck, but if you're on the court, I need you win that second game. Aaron Gordon was the highest scorer in one of those fucking Nuggets games. He had 31 or 29.
Yeah, he had 31.
It was 31. And all of that shit, Chris, was on fucking backdoor cuts. Well, you know who was on Aaron Gordon? Nobody, because LeBron was supposed to be there. And I get it. Hey, Joker's on the court. We gotta help AD because Joker's gonna cook. But that's not how you play ball, Chris. There's certain people, Luka's one of them. The Mavericks have been doing, not the Mavericks, the Timberwolves have been doing the dumbest shit ever to me. Like everybody.
Yeah, they're not going at them defensively.
Exactly. They've been cooking And they kept saying it. He come down there, Jay McDaniels just sitting in the corner. Luka just like, all right, I play the lane. That's easy. But on the offensive side, I told y'all, I think last week, why the fuck is McDaniels on Luka? He's too small. Ant's like a bit bigger. Put him on there and let them go tip attack. Make Ant guard Luka or make Luka guard Ant on the back end. Let's go 5 for 5, shot for shot. They're not doing that. They blitzing Luka at the last minute. And guess what? Lively and fucking
Luka's way too good of a playmaker for that shit to work.
What's the other center name? What's y'all other big name? Sorry, John.
Gafford.
Lively and
Gafford.
They've been having fucking the series of their lives, goddammit.
Yes.
I'm talking about oop after oop after oop.
And you think with Cat and Rudy Gobert in there, they wouldn't have been a factor. And that's
what I was telling Chris last night. He's not a big, bro. He's not a traditional big. You seen him. He took more threes than he took post shots. And most of the time it's somebody small on him.
Yeah.
But he can't back to the basket, bro. It's just, I don't know, man. The series is, I don't want to blame Rick Carlisle, but I gotta blame Rick Carlisle. And I'm also
Rick Carlisle is the Pacers, Tony.
He's with the Pacers.
not Rick Carlisle, but what's his name? Who's their
I can't even think of the Pacers coach's name. The dude with the gimp knee. Or Timberwolves coach.
Yeah, the Timberwolves coach. What's his fucking name?
I
Not
don't
Rick
fucking
Carlisle.
know.
He's got a Chris Finch. There we go.
Yeah, Chris's cousin. Sorry, John. I blame him, and I'm also happy. I know we're getting off topic, but I'm also happy that the defensive player of the year is getting exposed. So now they can just stop giving the award to bigs who have blocks.
Yes.
You got to start giving it to guards who play great defense.
I thought we were done with that when Marcus won it a couple years ago.
They went right back.
No, I know, but I'm saying that I thought that was going to be the change where that's what we're getting at.
Yeah, well,
that is the criteria. Wemby had a better year anyway. So why did Gobert get it again? Like, that made no sense to me.
I don't get it. But Kendrick Perkins said that he regrets voting for Rudy Gobert, and that's the problem, bro. Like, you got these bigs.
So why did you vote for him?
Exactly, but you got all these bigs on the panel, bro. Like, who you think they gonna vote for? They're not voting for no skill player because they was never that.
Yeah, but you have to, once you get to the media, you have to be like, all right, let's fucking remove. Do you think Shaq's voting for bigs every year? No, he's not. He's not fucking silly.
Shaq got a vote.
I'm sure he does.
Super hard on bigs anyway.
Well, Shaq would never vote for a big, Billy. Like Chris said, Shaq hate every big.
Yeah.
They didn't average what I averaged. Kind of a bum.
That shit that he said in the final about the finals is when he was like, now when you get to the playoffs, if you a 30-10 guy, you got to be a 35-15 guy. You got to be +5 and everything in the playoffs, Chuck. I know you wouldn't know nothing about that because you don't got no rings, Chuck. But
that's
you got to be +5 everywhere.
That's the funniest shit I ever heard. I don't know though, Billy. What you and Matt see about this Luka, and because I could be crazy, but Luka could be playing amazingly, and I'm just hating.
I'm gonna send it to Matt.
Antonio ain't even let me finish.
Oh, my fault, Chris. Go ahead.
He just went off on a tangent. I think this will be the year. I don't think the Mavs will be underdogs in series going forward. The acquisitions they made at the deadline improved their team defense tremendously. Luka's amongst the best offensive players we've seen. Kyrie, even though he's I hate to say it, but it appears he's in a decline. He's a 2-quarter player now. He can't give you 4 strong quarters anymore, but he's still he's still a great Robin. Yeah. He's still a good Robin.
Makes me feel really old.
I think PJ's a good enough 3 to where they'll be close to the top half of the West if they keep this roster together. Lively and Gafford are great down low, great tandem together. Lively, hopefully he'll be back for Game 5. But, yeah, I think this will be the last year where Luka gets to –
Chris, real quick, who's the light-skinned guy?
What white-skinned guy?
The light-skinned guy, the big. It might be Gaffney, I think.
No, that's Lively. That's who I'm talking about.
Okay, so Lively, correct me if I'm wrong, dude. He gets real hype. Like if they're letting him like get it, get the ball down the post, like and if he scores, like he kind of brings that energy a little bit out of Dallas. Like
that's the other player, bro. That's Gafford.
Is that Gafford? That's what I thought it was Gafford. But I couldn't
they both get hyped, but Gafford's definitely more the energy guy.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Gafford's he the screamer. He every time he dunked on somebody because he dunked on Rudy. He dunked on Rudy, and I thought he was gonna get a tech, bro.
Dude, that's okay. I'm glad we're talking about the same guy. Sorry, keep going, Chris.
I'm scared, Chris. Now let you keep going. Lowry was on the bench doing this, like trying to, like the stadium lights were still hurting his fucking eyes, bro. So I'm scared he concussed, and they just don't want to say it because it was like, he was on the bench.
He probably is. Towns need him in the back of the fucking head.
Yeah, I don't.
Was that an accident?
Probably not.
I mean, he need him in the nuts earlier in the game, so.
Yeah, Cat's kind of a bitch too, though. Keep going, Chris. Sorry.
But yeah, I think this will be the last year where Luka gets to avoid some of that media criticism, especially if they wind up closing out this series, which if they don't, they'll be the first team in NBA history to lose a 3-0 lead. So that'll come with its own set of problems. I don't see that happening at all. But Luka's going to be in the finals, incredibly likely. He won't escape criticism after that because he's shown he can get a team there. And I think going forward, we'll start to critique Luka, talking the media as a whole, like we do all the other greats of the sports, where we pretty much ignore all the good shit they do and we just talk about the bad and harbor on it like LeBron. I think he's going to be in that stratosphere going forward.
Let me ask you this, Chris. As the media, since we're the media now, is that not dumb as fuck?
I mean, I'm biased to myself. I prefer doing it where you call out the bad and you celebrate the good. Yeah. Like the reason I go at you with the Kyrie kind of arguments is to more balance out the discussion, because you go in our group chat, you go so fucking hard against Luka. I feel like I got to balance that shit out and go so hard back at you with Kyrie, since that's the one that you don't ever critique. You only critique Luka.
And I appreciate that, because I'd be like, you got a point. I ain't never gonna say that in the group chat, but I'll be over here like, yeah, he got a point.
Yeah.
You got a point.
Matt, let me bring it to you with this question. Do you think, and this is just a thought I had today, I think Luka is gonna get the MVP next year if he just does his regular thing in the regular season, because he got to the finals this year. Am I crazy for that?
No, I think that's how the NBA works. Once you acquire some sort of clout, that also carries over into your future, whatever you do, whether it's awards. Like Gobert got the defensive player this year because he got it last year. No one wanted to give it to a rookie. That's just how the NBA, it's just the politics of the NBA. I think if Luka can make some noise and potentially win a championship, if he just averages close to 30 next year, he's like top 3 in MVP voting. I said MVP.
I was going to let it slide for that one, Matt.
Yeah. I was thinking about Nickelodeon.
Yeah.
Can't wait for football to come back.
I don't think he automatically necessarily wins it. I know he's going to be he's definitely going to be in there, but we got to see, Billy. Everybody's getting good now, and that's why I like everybody in the West. Everybody in the West is getting good now. I'm excited to see SGA come back and have a better season. Chet them be more seasoned. I want to see what Shooter McGavin, aka Ja Morant, gonna do when he come back, because I feel like people forgot about him all, and he's like one of those players that he's like, oh, we seen it the first time he came back from the injury. He came back and went crazy, like dunking on everybody, lead Memphis to the number 3 seed.
They were the 2 seed.
Nah.
Yeah, because the
last year, Sacramento was the 1-2.
Wait, I thought Denver was number 2, and then Memphis was 3.
Oh, am I tripping? Okay, that's my bad.
Yeah. I could be wrong though. They kept flip flopping just like this year. So I'm not sure. Yeah. I think this year gonna humble Ant. This playoff series right here for sure, or the whole playoff. Ant hasn't shot good the whole playoffs, so I feel like this series probably gonna humble him.
He finally hit himself again.
Yeah, he'll be better next year. So But Luka will definitely be leading the charge, especially if he can lead it past Boston. Now, on the flip side, and I know I said we weren't going to talk about Boston, but if Boston so happens to win, there's a lot. Actually, I do want to talk about Boston. Billy.
Okay, hold on. Before we get into Boston, I have these Luka stats I had to get through. Like I said,
well, why the fuck wouldn't you say them at the beginning?
Because I wanted to play this argument out, right? But
all right.
Like I said, I just needed to see your point of view and why you're not, because you're not tripping. It's like, it's easy to say, like in the argument, like as watching the game, it's like, Tonio, you're fucking crazy. But if you go into the stats, Luka's field goal percentage is awful in the playoffs. It's absolutely awful. The only players he's better than is Jamal Murray, Tim Hardaway Jr., and Paul George. That's it. Of names of players that are like relevant. Everyone else has a better field goal percentage than Luka. Luka's points per game is the second highest, or is the highest the third highest, with Shai and Joker averaging the most points per game in the playoffs. This is just the playoffs, by the way. But his field goal attempts are only tied with Shai as the most, right? So most field goals, but he's only third in scoring. Okay. His 3-point percentage is less, and check this out. This is really bonkers to me. It's 32.7%, but it's less than Naz Reid, LeBron, and then what did you call Mike Conley the other day, Chris?
Grandpa.
Better 3-point percentage than fucking Luka Doncic, a shooter. Kyrie also with a better 3-point percentage at 42.3%. Right. So if you want to come at Kyrie with your arguments against Tonio, that's where I'm kind of going with that.
Did you say Grandpa?
Take your ass to bed.
He did say Grandpa, baby. That's what he said. Golly, that's what I'm talking about. Girl dad. Luka's also, but to come back after I read those stats, I was like, fuck, Tonio's on a point. And that's where I caught from, right? But Luka's 5th in rebounds per game in the playoffs. 5th. All right. For somebody who's so ball centric, so kind of offensive oriented, you would think he wouldn't be maybe that high in rebounds, but he is. But he's also first in assists with 9.1 assists per game. And LeBron, again, this is just the playoffs, but LeBron is second with 8.8 assists per game. And if we're talking about LeBron's complete total game, we got to throw Luka in there because he's killing it. Steals per game. I know Tonio and Chris argued the defensive stats. Luka's steals per game is 1.7 and Ant's is 1.6 steals per game, right? Now, this is where it kind of gets into where like you understand it, but let me just throw this out there. Luka's first in turnovers, 4 turnovers a game, right? He had that one really bad game. What was it, 10, Tonio, right? He had 10 turnovers and one of the Mavericks wins. But that's four turnovers a game. LeBron is second with 3.8 turnovers per game. Anthony Edwards is 6th in the playoffs with 3.2 turnovers a game. And then Kyrie, where we talk about it, is 2.5%. At the same token, they're both shooting 81.2% from the free throw line. Where me and Chris pointed out, okay, Kyrie missed his last 3 of 4 in the I think it was game 3. And then Luka hit the game winner with that 3. But they're shooting the same field goal percentage or the same free throw percentage. And I'm not saying Tonio is crazy because I'm kind of seeing where his argument's stemming from is Luka is kind of fucking it up for everybody, but he is doing what he's supposed to do in the sense of the word, right? Now let me go back to that because he didn't have a lot to say. Reading off those stats. Is it crazy to say Luka is underperforming?
Is it crazy to say?
Yeah.
I wouldn't say so, but I feel like he's also balancing out where he's fucking up. So it's like you could go either way.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. That's where I was going. Is where like the argument, like you could argue for, but you could also argue against, right?
Yeah. There's like a huge there's no like. He's not performing at a high level and like barely making any mistakes. He's doing both. This is like 5-minute J.R. Smith type shit we got going on here.
But Tonio, we'll go back to you. I just wanted to read those stats so we can kind of – that's where my baseline was – or my baseline. That's where I was at for my baseline, where Luka's not doing what we're thinking, but you're seeing the 3-point shot, like Tonio pointed out. You're seeing some of those late game shots that he's making, and you're like, oh no, he is doing what he's supposed to do. But you're like, well, look at the entire body of work. Like Tonio said, if you're shutting down in the fourth quarter, but the rest of your first 3 quarters is looking good, what are we actually looking at? And then if we look at the whole body, Luka's really just kind of But let's go to Boston, Tonio.
So we started to get on this last week, and I wanted to, because I think what I was saying last week was cemented. So y'all seen who won the Eastern Conference? What was it, Larry Bird? That was the Larry.
I mean, it felt more like a recreation gym league.
Yeah,
but ain't that's the MVP trophy that Jaylen Brown got, the Larry Bird Award, or what? Ain't that's what it's called?
No, that's
the All-Star. Kobe and Larry. Or is
nah,
man.
I thought it was Bill Russell for the East.
I don't think so. It might be.
I don't think.
I thought it was Larry Bird.
I thought Larry Bird was the All-Star game. That was him and Kobe. What's the All-Star one I'm thinking?
Yeah, it is. It's the Larry Bird Eastern Conference Finals MVP Award. That's the name of it.
Did they just change it? I feel like it hasn't always been.
They brought that back. They just brought it in like a year ago. Yeah.
Okay.
But
anyway, sorry.
In the Western, Chris, can you look up the Western Conference name while I'm talking? Please. So I think that's a minute what I told you. I told y'all that I think Jason Tatum was a max player, but not a max player for Boston. And then
Magic Johnson and Larry Bird.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I thought so.
That makes sense.
So I feel like they cemented it just there. The whole Eastern Conference, you got Boston, or the NBA picks between either Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum because that's who they want. Well, the NBA is telling you that, hey, Jaylen Brown is the MVP. Billy, me and you've been high on Jaylen Brown playing better than Jason Tatum in the playoffs for 2 years now.
Yeah, yeah.
Like 2 years now. And people probably call us crazy. And I'm not saying that Jaylen Brown is better than Jason Tatum, but is he?
Because in the playoffs, he is.
Yeah, like I don't think you can discuss your full body of work inside of the regular season, because hey, you can go crazy in the regular season, but if you get to the playoffs where it matters to get the hardware and you just shut down, like, okay, cool, use the most valuable player in the season, but this is the dude that's going to get us the rings. And Boston is one of those franchises where they don't give a fuck about nothing but the hardware. Like, they want to beat out the Lakers. They want to be the most storied franchise in the NBA. For the last 2 years, that front office has been seeing Jaylen Brown carry them. Now, Jason Tatum made NBA All First Team, so he's up for a max.
Yeah.
Am I tripping, or do we think Jason Tatum leads Boston if they lose? If they lose, even if they win and Jaylen Brown continues to be the MVP, does Boston pay Jason Tatum max money again, or with Jaylen Brown's $300 million, or does Jason Tatum have to go elsewhere to get that? Go to Chris.
I definitely don't think he leaves. He'd be leaving a lot of money on the table if he left.
Yeah.
As far as, I don't know, man. I can understand why y'all think Jaylen Brown's the better player, but I don't see it personally.
I mean, and
in the playoffs,
just in the playoffs only. Like,
yes.
I ain't talking about overall, none of that. Regular season is definitely Jason Tatum, but
yeah,
and Jason Tatum
also Jason Tatum. I just want to throw that out there.
Yeah,
overall, it's still Jason Tatum.
Jason Tatum is being pushed by the NBA so hard to be a superstar. I don't see it yet, and I could be tripping. I don't think he's a superstar as of yet. He has superstar moments, but we've seen him flail out when it counts. And to be a superstar, because you gotta, like, you can lose. Luka can lose the next 3 games, that's not going to take away from his superstar. He's a superstar because he still put up and showed up in these moments.
Right.
Jason Tatum in that Warriors finals did not show up. Or sometime in the whole playoffs last year, he didn't show up. But you know who did? Jaylen Brown. And that's why Jaylen Brown got $300 million. And I understand he'll be leaving a lot of money on the table, but shit, he up for max money. So I feel like
do you think and this is still with Chris, do you think a psyche comes into that? Like you're like, hey man, you're gonna be the guy that gets us to the playoffs, but when we get there, you got to start deferring to fucking Jaylen, and because he's also a max player, so you have to defer to him and let him fucking kind of run this shit.
That's what I'm saying. Jason Tatum's favorite player is Kobe, bro. Kobe was the it player. Like, it was Kobe.
Yeah.
He had other people around him, but
Big Shot Bob, Derek Fisher, you can't deny what they were doing over there. And then
but in the last minute, Kobe taking that shot.
Yeah.
Kobe taking that shot last minute. Jason Tatum not taking the last shots here, Billy. It was some shots I was watching. I think I was watching the game with Butler. I know I was watching the game with Butler and Dre shot. Dre came out here to see.
Big shout out.
We was watching it at Hooters, bro. Shout out to the chicken strip and cheese sandwich. It's delicious.
The best chicken strip sandwich by any restaurant. I just want to throw that.
Yeah, that cheese, I don't know what kind of cheese it is, but that shit is godly, bro.
I think it's Swiss, dude.
It's amazing. God damn, it's amazing. And shout out to them for they every day, all day, $5 Long Island. Give me 5 of them and I'm good. But it was moments where Jaylen Brown was taking over in that game to close out, and Jason Tatum was wide open. He could pass to him, and he was kicking to other people. And I'm like,
yes,
hey, man, you don't see it, but those could be problems brewing. And I know they're going to say it not, but these dudes younger, bro. So their ego's way higher than what ours is, because, like, you know, I can defer to you, Billy, on the show and be like, well, yeah, Billy said the right thing, vice versa. I don't know that somebody of their age can be like, hey, motherfucker, you seen I got $300 million, you still on that little ass contract. Yeah. Give me the ball. You seen who won MVP? And I'm not saying Jaylen is like that, but what if he was, Chris?
Jaylen had lower stats than all of Tatum, though. And that's what I wanted to bring up, too. Like, why do y'all think Jaylen's the guy in the playoffs when Tatum has more points, more boards, more assists, the same steals, more blocks, less turnovers?
In the moment.
He's better in every category.
He's the one taking charge at the end.
Yes, at the end.
He's the one getting the accolades for the MVPs and all this stuff, whereas Tatum, this is his team, he's not getting that.
And that shit matter, Chris. I know Jason Tatum. Like I said, I know Jason Tatum is the better player, but in the moment, even the NBA, Chris, it ain't just us. The NBA just gave him this award 2 days ago or yesterday. Like, it wasn't us. I didn't vote on that. But somebody.
You should.
Yeah, we should get our vote.
I mean, the NBA also gave Iguodala the Finals MVP for holding LeBron to like 34 points. So
to a triple-double.
When it comes to awards in the NBA, like, sorry, but I question their shit just a little bit.
So let me ask you this, Chris. Who would you have given the MVP to on that Warriors team? Steph didn't play great.
Nope.
I'd have to go back and look at that was what, like 11 years ago at this point?
Yeah, it's been a while. But he hit big shots and guarded LeBron.
So I will
think a guy that holds somebody to 35.
I mean, if you could just limit LeBron 11 years ago, which is 35 points is limiting LeBron 11 fucking years ago. Yeah, if he's not going to score more than half their points, that's limiting.
That's without Kyrie and without Kevin Love and Matthew.
That's LeBron just putting his head down and tucking that ball and going to the rack.
No, but I will say
wasn't Brown drafted before Tatum though?
Fuck no. Jaylen Brown was he was like the 19th pick. Jason Tatum was the second pick.
No, but I mean like year wise. Didn't Brown come in a year or two before Tatum?
I think they're the same class.
Were they really?
Or separated by a year.
Oh no, yeah. Brown was 2016, round 1, pick 3. Tatum was 2017, round 1, pick 3.
Oh, shit. I thought Jalen went way later than that.
No.
No, because didn't they take another guard high in one of the other drafts too? They had 3 high guards, I thought. I might be tripping here.
I don't know, because I thought Jalen. I'm all tripped out because I thought Jalen was
Marcus
later.
Smart. Marcus Smart was in.
I thought he was a second-round pick, though.
I think. Maybe that's what I was thinking. Is Marcus Smart was a second-round pick from Oklahoma State?
Yeah.
But no, Chris, we're not. Again, we even precipitated when we started this was saying that Jason Tatum is a better player than Jaylen Brown. But you could look at the fourth quarter stats. You could look at the last 5 minutes of the game. And Boston has had such an easy series. You're talking about these numbers. Boston has had such an easy series that they haven't been in a lot of trouble. But if you look at the past playoffs where they've been in some hot water, when they played the Heat and stuff, Jason just kind of shrinks in that moment, whereas Jalen really takes it upon himself to really knock that shit down.
Well, I was about to say also, Matt, Mark Smart was the 6th pick.
Was he that high?
I think.
Holy
yeah. So then it was him.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
Damn, I didn't know he went that high. Holy shit.
It was like they were just drafting guards and like top whatever. But I thought Smart was a second-round pick, and he like outworked whoever else it was.
Yeah,
I was wrong.
Yeah, 2014 they took Smart in round 1. 2015 it was Rozier. 2016 it was Brown.
Oh, Scary Terry. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah.
I knew there was a fuck ton of guards over there.
I don't think it was guard heavy.
That's when I watched basketball a little more.
So I don't know, Chris. I just want to know, do y'all think, like, if there's a max contract out there, do you think, and Boston doesn't offer one, Chris, does he stay in Boston?
Anybody in the league will give Tatum a max contract.
That's what I'm saying.
So it's just a max.
It's not a
super max if he goes somewhere else.
Yeah.
He'll only get the super max in Boston.
If I'm Boston, I would absolutely pay him because to me it's what I said on the group chat. Like the same thing I said last year when I commented on the video before I was on the show. Like their issue isn't they got the 2 right players, but their games and their mentalities are opposite of what they should be. Tatum's the A player, but he's got the Robin mentality. Whereas Brown is clearly, in my opinion, the B player, but he's got that alpha Jimmy Butler mentality.
Bingo. That's the thing.
That's the thing. Like that's the big issue for me. But you need both. Like,
but
normally we want our superstar to be the closer, right? But if Tatum's getting you all the way to the end of the game and somebody else has to close it out, I don't think that's a bad thing.
But are you paying him more than like he's not winning you these series? So are you going to pay him more than the guy who's winning the series?
But he's giving you the chance.
If you take him out of the roster, Boston's not winning the series.
Not a chance.
They might have this year because they had an easy road, but
I get it, Chris, but we've also seen Jalen show some fucking A player mentality when he had to drop the 40 when Jason Tatum was nowhere to be found in game 3. He dropped.
No, that's what Chris is saying. Is like when Jalen has to be he is like, oh yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. Whereas Jason is like,
that's what I kind of got it. Do you pay somebody? Because I don't think that's some shit that. I mean, I guess you can learn it. LeBron
KD's been a max player his whole career.
But
like worst case scenario, Tatum's KD.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So do you pay him if you're Boston? Do you pay him super max?
If you tell me I get 82 games of KD, absolutely.
Well,
that might be the new way to go. What's up, Matt? Go ahead.
Well, also if you pay him the super max, it doesn't matter if he does any more than what he's doing now. The NBA pushes him so much, they're just getting that money back. The franchise is
true.
Like fuck it. The NBA is going to put him on the cover of everything. He's on every cereal box in the fucking world. They're getting that money back because guess what's there? Celtics.
Yeah. So, and that's where I was going to go is, okay, you have one supermax. You have 2 supermax players, which is just kind of asinine the way we think about the NBA now. But you have 2 supermax players. You have the guy that gets you to the playoffs, that gets you the chance to go to the finals, right? And then you have the guy in the playoffs that gets you to the finals, that gets you where you want to be, and then hopefully you can make it work. Now, I've talked about relevancy the entirety of this fucking 116 episode show. Relevancy does matter. If you're, again, sorry, Matt, if you're the Detroit Lions, you're so happy just being into the
this as well.
NFC championship game, whereas the Cowboys, who think they're supposed to just fucking be there, haven't been there since 96. The Detroit Lions are extremely happy with what's going on. Now, if you're Boston and you are okay with getting to the finals because that's what you expect is getting to the finals at least. No, I don't think, because how hard the West is, I don't think Boston's sitting there like, oh, we should win every championship ever. If you're getting to the fucking championship, that's the important thing. So if you have two Supermax players that just happen to help you get there, and then one helps you proceed to the finals, you should be okay with that. That's how it should work. Whereas if you're Jared Goff and you're like, thank God you got us to the fucking NFC title game, yes. And then Dan Campbell's like, hey, it's really fucking hard to get here, so if we don't get here again, don't be fucking mad. This is just what the fuck it is. And that's how it is. That's how it should be.
So let me ask you this, and we can move on to my questions for y'all.
Go ahead, Tony.
If Supermax breaks up the team, you lose Drew Holiday, you lose a Peyton Pritchard, you lose Porzingis. Where we at now? Because Al Horford old ass ain't got that much gas left in the tank. He out there.
He don't got gas right now.
That's what I'm saying.
If you look at the Celtics track record, they're just going to redraft and restock. Like, they're just going to be young, and then these guys are going to be the old cats. And then 8 years from now, there's going to be like, fucking Jason Tatum's on his way out, and we got this new guy. Like, that's just what the Celtics do.
Well, let me raise it this before Tonio goes. Sorry, Tonio, I know I just kind of cut you off. But the Celtics don't have the fucking all those Brooklyn picks anymore.
No.
This is it. They're like, now they're picking at 29, 30. You know what I'm saying? So it's like they're not getting.
But for role players, like, they don't need to draft top 10 to get the star. Like, they get a big body. They get someone who can just shoot a three. Like, they can just
imagine they get Bronny next year, and then LeBron goes over there.
He would never go there.
LeBron just shacking a fool out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, he would never go to Boston.
I could see Boston, though. I could see Boston in the first round being like, you know what? Let's draft Bronny and just see what happens. Because LeBron's not going to Boston.
LeBron just sweating. He's like, fuck, they are really racist out there. This would be good for the podcast, though.
Oh, shit. All right, Tonio. Go ahead and take us to the meat of the baseline.
All right, so we see who we probably going to potentially see. More than likely, it's going to be Mavs Celtics in the finals, barring the first time in history, literally the first time in history, somebody coming back from 3-1 in the conference finals. We've seen it in finals, but
yeah,
this will be the first time in history. Barring that, we know who's going to be there. So I wanted to ask y'all, what can those teams that made a little bit of noise in the playoffs this year, or was there show sparks this year, what they should do? If I had a couple trade ideas, and I want to see how y'all felt about it. First one comes to mind because they played Boston the best, in my opinion. I think New York would have gave Boston a game or a series. I want to go with the Cleveland Cavaliers. So to me, in my opinion, I don't think Jared Allen and Evan Mobley were going to be able to coexist much longer anyway. Just don't work. They're the same player.
Yeah.
Evan Mobley being younger, more healthy. Able to get you 25 to 30 where Jared Allen came. So this is my trade idea. I say they're young and spry, so I say they go to New Orleans, trade Jared Allen to New Orleans for Dyson Daniels, Larry Nance Jr., and the 21st pick. What y'all think about that?
If I'm Cleveland, I do it. No problem.
Did I just hear Larry Nance Jr.?
Yes.
I haven't heard that name in 5 years.
I'm doing it. Matt, are you doing it or not?
Sure. I thought that guy fucking died or spent all his money already. But yeah.
But he's out here dying in New Orleans. Smelling like piss and throw up on Bourbon Street. Ugh. This shitty city.
I mean, isn't Cleveland talking about trading Spider?
No, Spider talking about trading himself.
If you can get LeBron James, I'd trade Spider in a heartbeat.
I don't think Brown leaving LA though. I think he's just restructuring.
I think that's the first thing they got to figure out is if they're going to be building around him or if they're rebuilding. Because without him on that team, it doesn't matter what moves they make.
They suck. They're in
the lottery.
That's pretty bad.
What's the next one, Antonio?
Chris's Mavs. I think even though they're looking good, they still need some more support. And I think it's time to get rid of Dorian Finney-Smith and go get Josh Green from the Nets. Veteran 3-and-D guy will help the Mavs tremendously. Chris, what you say?
Absolutely. I think
you have to give up. I'm guessing, Antonio, sorry to cut you off, Chris. Tony, I'm guessing you're going to have to give up Tim Hardaway Jr. and probably a big.
Not for Dorian Finney-Smith.
Hardaway can go.
That trade matches out, bro. And we know Brooklyn trade. They'll do whatever.
They got a Jew up there. Yeah, he's willing to wheel and deal and see which money he can make. I can say that I'm Jewish.
I'm glad you clarified that.
Just to throw it out there.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. Dorian Finney was solid when he was here a few years ago. I think didn't we trade him in the Kyrie deal?
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, he was solid when he was here. I don't know. I don't really mind Josh Green too much. To me, they're essentially the same shooter. Green's just younger.
Yeah. Dorian ain't getting up and down the court like he used to.
I feel like, man, watching some of these guys in the NBA, like I feel like I'm getting so old watching them. I'm like, damn, he's getting old. And I'm just like, oh, shit. And it's like like I seen Kyrie's gray hairs, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, don't get me wrong, I'm bald now, and I'm just sitting here like,
and Bro's still in his 20s, I think. And Kyrie like 29, maybe 30.
Yeah, he's like 32.
Kyrie might be like 33, dude.
No, Kyrie's
Kyrie's
I'm pretty sure 32.
You pushing 32, man?
No, Kyrie, I'd put like $20. He's 32.
Yeah,
I'm
he's
not
32.
Even 28.
32.
I'm right. I don't watch basketball, but I know my shit.
You're not 28, man?
No, I'm 27.
Motherfucker, you 30.
Yeah.
Oh,
that motherfucker. What Chris say on the bad boy? He want to do the bad boy. That motherfucker at least 30, man. He's 30.
He's 13 years in the league.
Who the fuck is Reg?
From 18. Oh, he's 31?
Who's 31?
He's 32. He's 13 years in the league, though.
Who, Kyrie?
Told you.
So here's one that I think might shake people up. And I know it's kind of crazy because we've seen him on a tangent. We've seen him on the way back to back finals almost. But the Denver Nuggets, Billy, you wouldn't think they would be on this list, but guess what? They are.
I'm surprised.
I think they should get Michael Porter Jr. to the Toronto Raptors to bring back Bruce Brown, also adding Kelly Olynyk, the 31st pick and the 2026 first-round pick, and it's protected, top four protected via Indiana. Michael Porter Jr. is a $30 million player who scored 25 points over the last 4 games of their season, and he only makes his money on the offensive side of the ball. You can't pay for that, Billy. Like, if I know you're an offensively dominant player and you scored 25 points, hey, what were you here for? I can't just have Michael Porter Jr. is their third option. Aaron Gordon outscoring you is a problem.
Yes.
not who he is. So I think you bring back that tenacity that you had with Bruce Brown, your hustle player. They know him, familiar. He works well in Malone's system, like extremely well.
Yeah.
Go get you a Kelly Olynyk, somebody who can be a fake Joker while Joker's not on the court because he shoots three, he passes the ball a lot. He'll defend stars. He don't care. He's like that. Then you go get a first round pick in the next, first round pick in the next 2 years. I don't.
No, 100%.
And on the Toronto end, they hurt.
No, that's probably my favorite trade that you came up with so far. That I love that. Especially when I'm Denver, yeah, absolutely. Even Toronto's not really losing out a lot. You know, getting a point scorer like you said. They don't play defense anyway, so it's not like they're fucking hurting, like getting somebody out there.
I also got another pick that might include Kelly Olynyk Matt and Chris, what y'all think about that trade? Am I jumping the gun or?
Yeah, sure, whatever. Next question.
I just like hearing you praise the white players. I'm all for it.
Yeah,
that's fair. Yeah,
suck Michael Porter Jr. Praise Kelly Olynyk. Love it.
So another person that I got for the Warriors. I got the Warriors needing to dial back their spending heavily so they can get better. And
the fucking Warriors need to rebuild.
They spend heavy?
They're paying Andrew Mike Dunleavy, and I quote reported, and he said to put a team out there that can't make the playoffs, like we spent out $400 million this year alone. I wouldn't recommend that, but that's what they did. So they spent $400 million on the team this year and then make the playoffs. So, I mean, that's a problem. Like half $1 billion team, no play, you don't even kiss the playoffs. So I think they can also trade to the Raptors. It just depends on if the Nuggets pull the trigger, because the Nuggets, they don't necessarily have to pull the trigger and they can still make it back to the playoffs. But the Warriors did. But they're playing Andrew Wiggins $26 million a year. If they traded for Kelly Olynyk again and Jalen McDaniels, it would widen the rotation with Olynyk again as a stretch center, and they will have a 3-and-D, no Diddy swing man with Jalen McDaniels, and them combined would make $17.5 million. So that would save them a lot of money, like a lot of money. How much? A lot of. I can't do the math.
I need the numbers, Tony.
Matt needs the numbers to just say move on to the next question. He needs it.
And this is my last one where we can talk about it, and we can move on because we are at an hour almost of just basketball.
We got 2 minutes.
The Los Angeles Lakers. This is what the Lakers do, Billy.
Hold on, Antonio, before you go. The Lakers aren't going to do any good trades because they're fucking stupid and Rob Pelinka is a fucking retard. Go ahead with your trade, though.
All right, bro. You ain't have to get at what's that actor name that he looks like? Rob Pelinka looks like an actor. I can't think of his name though.
Not Ray Liotta. Sorry, John. We don't know the actor's name either. So we'll do a sorry, John, for not knowing Hollywood stars either.
So here we go.
Chris, look it up real quick. Who does Rob Pelinka look like? But Tony, I'll keep going.
Here's the Lakers blockbuster trade to make them championship contenders again, Billy.
Fuck.
And I hate it, but it might have to be done. So they trade Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura, Jared Vanderbilt, Jalen Hood-Schifino, the 2029 first round, and the 2031.
Antonio, who's playing defense?
Can I get to it, bro?
I'm upset. Yes.
To the Miami Heat for Jimmy Butler and Thomas Bryant. Billy. They got to go all in, Billy, because this is LeBron's last 2 years, dog. LeBron playing for 2 years more max at this level.
LeBron's not even playing for the Lakers.
I mean, FPS. He is, bro.
LeBron needs
But-
He's gonna play
shooters.
for the fucking Tokyo Dragons next year.
Shut the fuck up.
Getting an off-brand Dwayne Wade, I don't think is going to help LeBron.
Let's do some hard questions. How are the Toronto Raptors going to become tenders? What's the numbers on that?
KD go there.
Gave one. You actually gave a Toronto Raptors trade, Matt. If you would listen, you fuck.
But I think back to the Lakers, Billy. I think that trade that's crazy. I know it's crazy, bro, but bro, playoff Jimmy, healthy is way better.
How the fuck
than
are they
playoff.
going to get to the playoffs though? Trading away all their role players like
So
that.
you can't rely on the Jimmy Butler effect if you can't even get there.
So here's the thing. I think Jimmy shows up, and I think I don't know if he would understand the way, especially LeBron at 30, not because he'll be 9 next year. I don't think Jimmy understands, hey, like, LeBron's not going to be like how we think LeBron is supposed to be, right? Like, I like the trade in general, but LeBron needs some shooters. He doesn't need a Jimmy Butler.
Yep.
Is my only problem. Like, let's trade. Hey, where's Buddy Hield? Antonio, you and I have been saying the Lakers need Buddy Hield for, is this 4 years now?
Yeah, but now, Billy, what you done heard about Buddy Hield this year? Maybe Rob knew something. I didn't even hear Buddy Hield's name the whole year this year. He wasn't.
But if you have LeBron, do you not think we'd hear his name a little bit more?
I mean, what happened to where he was at? You heard his name without LeBron.
Well, hey, fine. What was Shea Battier doing in fucking Memphis before he showed up to Miami with LeBron?
Beating people up with Zebo and Tony Adams,
bro. Show.
If you're on that team, I guess you don't really. Hey, hit this 3, and I'm gonna fuck this guy up. Like, oh, all right, cool.
Yeah.
Buddy Hield shot 38% last year from 3.
God damn, that's worse than Luka.
I think
The only thing I heard
he
from him
would
is
be
he wasn't
great.
shooting in the playoffs.
I get that, Chris, but where the fuck was he? I didn't. Who did he play for? The Pacers?
The Knicks.
He started with
Pacers.
Indiana and finished with Philadelphia. Sorry,
Philly, yeah.
Oh yeah, and then Joel fucked it up. See where the superstar flame comes in right there? Boom.
He didn't even play Philly though. In Philly, did he?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah, he just wasn't shooting in the playoffs. That's all I heard was why isn't Buddy Hield shooting?
Because Tobias Harris is a shooter.
Well, you
J.
got a
Cole on
fucking
the
point
bike
center
Just
that
hold
doesn't
on
want
to
to
that
be a
number 2
center.
spot. No way. It's me. I'm number 2.
That's funny as fuck. Billy, take us out of here, man.
All right, man. Hey, this has been
Gentlemen, report to the baseline.
To the baseline.
So today. Was it today or yesterday? Might have been today, I think.
I think today was official.
Today was official, right? But yesterday was like they were like saying like, "Oh, this is gonna happen." But today, Major League Baseball announced that the Negro League stats is going to integrate into the Major League Baseball stats. Now, Tony, tell you motherfucker, we almost
They're ruining our sport. Goddamn it, Matt! Tell them they're ruining it. Had 130 years of good goddamn history, and then they fucked it all up. Tell them, Matt.
Like I've been saying for years, it's about time. Matt, how did you react when you heard the news?
First, I liked it, but then looking at it, nothing
The
wrong
first
with
thing
it.
Matt did was go set a cross on fire.
Let's pump the brakes. No, I like it, but I feel like
Let's
Yeah,
not
it was
pump
a-
the brakes. Let's slam on them and just hold on. Let's fuck.
what are we holding? No, we could. Oh, pump the brakes about the whole cross thing. Or no, slam the brakes. We don't.
Yes, that's
we're
right.
slamming the brakes there. No, I just feel like I love it, but like I feel like there should be some sort of classification since neither group played against each other. Like, is it really fair to say that one level was above? Like the Negro Leagues might have been better than the MLB, right? We
Sure.
never lived in that time period, so like it's kind of weird that we put them together, and now it's like, well, now we got all these people, and then whatever. Like, I just feel like it's weird how it's ranked. I feel like we should kind of look into a little more before we're just like take that face value. This
What-
guy got 1,800 hits. He's now this place.
So what are you saying? Like, what should we take at face value though? Like you don't think Joshua Gibson should have the best average of Major League Baseball of all time?
No. So what I'm saying is, if you put both groups together, the competition by far is much better, right?
Oh yeah. Okay.
So like, I'm not sure how big the Negro Leagues was like player wise. I'm pretty sure the MLB was still a bigger league, like number wise, not like
like who played for what team?
Yeah. So like, the lowest guy for the major leagues might have been better than, a middle tier guy in the Negro Leagues, whereas like their top tier guys could have been better than the top tier. Like, you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if they played together, those stats wouldn't be the same. So like, why put them together? Like, I don't know if you understand what I'm saying. Like,
no, 100%.
It's kind of like, I love that we're recognizing it part of baseball history, but like, I feel like, I don't know, instead of just throwing them together, we should do a little something like, I don't know.
Like,
I don't
so
really know
are
what I'm saying, but
are you saying still give him the record, but maybe give him an
not an
asterisk?
asterisk. I'm not Mike Tirico.
Okay.
Not an asterisk.
Okay.
But like, I just feel like there could have been, because it's so hard to say, like, is Josh Gibson the best hitter of all time? Well, we don't know because he didn't play against the other best players in the world. Now, would Babe Ruth do the same thing in the Negro Leagues? We don't know. But like, that's like, we never say Babe Ruth could have went over there and did the best, right?
I see what you're saying now. Okay, now it's full spectrum where you're saying like you couldn't go to the Negro Leagues and do what you did, but you're also saying going from the Negro Leagues you couldn't come over.
But
to the
not saying that you couldn't.
League.
But it's like the best didn't play against the best, so like, how are we gonna compare? Because there were still very great players in the MLB then who could probably still be good players now. Same thing with Negro Leagues, MLB, but they didn't play against each other, which kind of sucks, right? So
I was gonna ignore it. Go, man.
Draymond. That's a Draymond.
No, but they just didn't play against each other, so it's hard to say. Like, was Josh Gibson really that good? Like, if he would have played against the best pitchers of that time period, would he still have a 378 batting average? Right?
Fair, no, and that's a fair question. And now I'm going to raise you. Yes, he would, because the top 5 home run hitters, 3 of them are black. So, boom, there you go.
Yeah,
I mean, but I get what Matt's saying though, because it's like the ABA. You didn't bring none of their records to the NBA.
Ooh, I haven't heard that argument. That's good. Keep going, Tony. Sorry.
I don't know. I understand what Matt's saying. Like, it's just too much of. We just don't know, so you don't want to mix it up. Of course, I want the Negro League to get recognized, but can I recognize them if we wasn't playing the same game against the same people? Like, I just don't know if you can do that. I mean, maybe you could, but I doubt it, Billy. I really doubt it.
They would still be very good players. I'm not saying that, but like, it would probably be a little less, or for some players, it might even be more because they're like, now I'm beating on this stupid white dude who keeps throwing me 80 miles per hour down the middle, right? But like, there's just this, I don't know, like, I don't think it would be exactly the same if they played all together.
No, I'm with you. Let me raise this question to I'm gonna go to Chris here for this one. Would you think Satchel Paige is a better pitcher than Nolan Ryan?
I mean, that's really fucking hard to say.
But that's what I'm asking. Okay, you're saying it's hard to say. Well, fucking pick one. This whole show.
Can I answer that while he's thinking?
Go ahead, Matt.
Nolan Ryan damn near played from the end of the Negro Leagues into the 2000s. Like, he played every generation, dominated every generation. So
Satchel Paige did the same thing. Pitched till he was 55. He was 55.
Well, he stopped playing in 40. He stopped playing at age 46 and then pitched one game at age 58. So a little bit off, but yeah, I see what you're saying.
Man, throwing the ball at 58 years old is crazy.
Dude,
I've just seen Ryan Howard won an MVP at some league.
I feel like I get Matt's argument though, because I really do. Of course, like I said, I want them to get recognition, but who the fuck's gonna go through there and be able to divvy that out? Like, it could be done, but you would have to hire somebody to watch everybody's game film. They would have to break down everything, and that film just doesn't exist.
If they can pay Joey Gallo $20 million a year, they can pay someone to do that. Like,
but that film doesn't exist, man. Like it just doesn't.
They went through newspaper clippings. It's pretty much how they compiled all the stats that they added into there. So some
of them real fast too, Chris, before you keep going, because I know you literally looking it up. But I wonder how many things are lost in those newspaper clippings, because there's errors in today's game where, like, oh shit, this guy actually had 2 hits instead of 1 hit this game. Oh, he really went 1 for 3 instead of 1 for 4 because we forgot to add the walk. So it's like there is those kind of things. But go ahead.
It goes
Chris.
for both leagues too. Like,
no, for sure.
Are we really trusting people 100 years ago knew how to count to 10 when people today don't know how to do basic algebra?
And that's weird, bro. Like, man, it's a lot of maybes. Billy Wise, like hard. It's hard. Like, and I don't want to negate nothing from the Negro League, because
I feel like those stats should be like the NFL. Like, as soon as we see it's 1950s and earlier, we don't even count those stats. Did it happen in the Super Bowl era? I feel like it should be something like that. It's like, this is like they used to have like the dead ball era, whatever other era. Like, this is like pre-segregation era, segregation era. I don't know.
No, but I think that's the thing, though. I think that's why it's such a big thing, because it was literally, this group is not allowed to play in our league. I think that's the only thing where it brings my mind to where, like, if it was like, you can play in the majors if you want, but it's kind of like the USFL, right? Like, are we going to take Jim Kelly's stats from the USFL and add it with his NFL stats? No, because that's just not what it was. But Jim Kelly it wasn't that he was not allowed to play in the NFL. A lot of the Negro League players were not allowed, like quite literally, were not allowed to play in the majors, was the difference.
No, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The pre-Super Bowl era for the NFL, there was still a lot of that going on. So when you hear Schmitty Van Morgenborgen threw 8 touchdowns for 14 yards, but the 8 touchdowns is the single game record, and you're like, is it? Oh, Peyton Manning threw 7. Okay, we'll take that one.
That's what we're okay. Yeah. I see what you're saying.
Like, you know how it's like you still see it on top, but it's like it's really this though.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, it's like something to kind of.
But see, okay, fine. I love that you said that. Let me. I'm gonna send it back to Chris. But that's always been my argument, is where, like, okay, yeah, Ty Cobb had the best average of all time, but he didn't have to play black people. So I've always been like, you go to number 5 or whatever. Like, let me just throw something out there and just bring you down a little bit.
But I'll also throw in this. But back then, neither white or black had to play against South American players.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like, how good was
you put Sammy Sosa in that era,
right?
Now we've got a whole.
And it's like,
is this guy a cyborg?
No, and that's another question, and I'm gonna bring it to Chris. Chris, do you know when did the Dominican Republic and Cuba and all these more Hispanic cultures kind of start coming into the game? What, the 70s?
I would like to say late 60s.
Probably before.
Other than the people who are already in America playing, like, we weren't going to other countries.
Manny Manoso started in 46, and he was Cuban.
Yeah, but we had the World Baseball Classic, but the Negroes, oh my God. But the Negro League wasn't included in that, right?
What do you mean World Baseball Classic?
The World Baseball Classic has been going on for how long?
I have no clue.
I can't believe I just said the Negroes.
Sorry, bro. I know you ain't mean no ill will about it. I'm gonna have to defend you again. Like, Billy's a racist. No, he's not.
No, he's not. I will say, I've been wanting to do the Martin where he comes in on a show where he goes, "Sup." I've been wanting to do that for so long.
So I can't find just at a quick glance when international players started coming over, but I know Manny Manoso is probably the first name that I can think of, and that was in 56. I do know that in the early 1900s and the 19-teens, managers tried to sign black players and pass them off as like Native American, and some were able to play under that guise, and some got caught.
Yeah.
But real quick, I don't have a big issue with this necessarily. The slight issue that I do have is that the Negro Leagues, through no fault of their own, weren't particularly organized very well. The teams all played a different number of games, and the number of teams ranged from 6 to 9 or 10. And like I said, they all played different games, and the quality of competition just wasn't that great across all the rosters. Giving you an example, in Josh Gibson's best year in 1943, where he hit 466 with 20 home runs and 109 RBIs, the Homestead Grays were 53-14. The next best team was 19-14.
The Homestead
they played
Grays?
Homestead Grays. That was one of the teams that he played for.
Oh, okay.
They played 40 more
So
games.
his team that year played 44 more games than the next best team, and the other 5 teams that were in the league all had losing records. So it's like a Major League Ball Club playing single A teams every fucking night. Like, the quality of competition isn't there to have a competitive team between them and the other teams that were in there.
That's what I was kind of getting to earlier. Yeah.
No, I see what you're saying.
Like, the bottom level talent wasn't as like the bottom level talent over here.
No, I'm tracking.
I think top end talent, like top for top, I think the leagues were probably comparable. But I think the depth of talent, the MLB was way ahead of the Negro Leagues at the time. There's also, which if you've never played baseball, this may not seem like a big deal for you. The MLB were playing 154 games at the time, and there wasn't really plane travel. Like, they're taking trains to and from all these games, 154 games over 6 months. The most games that Gibson ever played in a single year was 69 games, and that was that 43 season that I just covered. Most of the time, he was below 50 games in a year. He played a third of the amount of games. That allows you to be fresh a lot more than if you're out there playing day in and day out.
That's fair. He's missing a lot of slumps that he could have had. Okay.
And then didn't I see
it's not necessarily slumps. He's
20%
just
less bats.
Yeah, he's not suffering the wear and tear. His total plate appearances were 25-26, 2,526. That's 4 seasons for a leadoff hitter in any time in baseball. And that was his whole career. Ty Cobb had over, I think, 13,000. And the Satchel Paige thing that you wanted to bring up, yes, he did pitch for 50 fucking years. He threw less than 1,800 innings for his whole career. Nolan Ryan threw well over 5,000 innings.
Okay.
So the wear and tear that these players suffered was nowhere near the level that the Major League ball players suffered. Again, I'm not blaming them. They did what they were able to do at the time that they played in, but I think wear and tear is such a massive part of the game.
Yeah. I also want to. What was I going to ask? I can't remember what I was about to ask you, Chris. Shit, it slips my mind. Never mind. Oh, yeah. Which one of you pansies didn't play baseball? Chris said if you never played baseball, you can't appreciate this. Was it you, Matt?
No, I played baseball.
No, I was more speaking to the general audience.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah.
It's a very wear and tear sport.
Yeah, dude. Even like practicing, like I remember on JV practicing every day. I'm just sitting here like, do we have to practice every day? Like, this is fucking stupid. Like, what are we doing, dude? Like, this doesn't make any sense.
It's not as bad as football, but it's also way fucking longer than football.
No, but football, you practice every day. You get the day off before the game. You just do your walkthroughs, and then you play the game, and then you're off the next day. Whereas baseball, we're practicing Monday through Friday to play Saturday, to be right back on practice at Monday. And it's like, we're just playing fucking baseball. Who gives a fuck? Like, this isn't like, I don't have to do schemes. I don't have to worry about coverages. I don't have to worry about what we're going to implement over this defense. I don't have to, like, it's literally like, oh, this pitcher is really good. End of story. Like, that's what we got to worry about. Like, who fucking gives a shit?
I really, baseball was fun as fuck, though. I hit a foul ball right on top of a copperhead one time. As a team, we killed it.
As a team, you all just get around and curb stomp it? Like, how do you all kill it?
You should have went major league mode and put that motherfucker around your neck and just fucking walked around with it.
I don't fuck with Joba. That ain't my. That ain't my. Yeah, Chris, you didn't think I knew that reference, did you? Yeah.
Hey, neither did I. Neither did I gotta say, dude. That was
white people
fucking
shit
good.
Too. Yeah.
He fucking does a holy cross with that thing. Oh my god. What a Tonio. God damn. All right.
Yeah, bro.
You seen all the major leagues or just the first one?
Every one. Well,
Willie Mays Hayes.
I think I like Wesley Snipes better.
Yeah, but I mean, you know, he got big after that, and he was like, "All right, fuck this movie."
Yeah. I like Omar Epps as an actor.
Omar Epps is good. All right. Hey,
so have y'all heard of Larry Doby?
No.
Are y'all familiar with Larry Doby? He's the player that broke the color barrier in the American League. First back player in the American League for the Indians. Yeah. And so he played 4 years. What's up?
I was just gonna say, I've heard of this guy. A lot of people are saying he was better than Jackie Robinson.
I mean, you can be the judge of that if you want. I want to give you a little comparison. He played 4 years in the Negro Leagues. His best year, he hit 365, led their league in hits with 85 and in triples with 10. His major league career, which ended at age 35, was 13 years long, and his career average was 283. So 60 points lower from his career best year. The career best he had in the big leagues was 326. So 40 points lower than his Negro League best. And that was one of the
good.
Yeah, it's still good, but I'm like, just to point out that the higher end players could have absolutely played, and I don't want to say a lot of them did, but enough of them did to where you can kind of see the talent differential. Like Jackie played with the Monarchs in 45.
Yeah.
He hit 375 in 34 games, led their league in home runs, only had 4. But his career average in Brooklyn for the Dodgers was 311. His career high was 342.
Which is still great. 311 is
awesome.
I mean,
still a really good year, but I mean, the numbers were I don't want to say substantially, because there was, only 34 games.
Yeah.
Compared to a full season, but like, that's the talent level plus the wear and tear. Like, you're not going to be able to produce those same numbers.
No, but yes, and I think that's the whole thing. If you include everything into it, where it's like they also could have been, because I could raise you, they could have went on a hotter streak where they could have hit 400 for fucking 30 games, as opposed to the only time they got really hot for about 16 games. And then the end of the season, where they could have kind of roughed that out. And I understand what you're saying, where they could have came back down to the major league level, where okay, now it's kind of fucking thundering itself out. But I think that was a fantastic conversation. I think we can continue that on a different show. Now, do we want to do college football 25, Tonio, or do you think we should kind of end it here?
We should probably table it. It'll still be next week before anybody gets to play it, or a few weeks before anybody gets to play it. So
yeah,
we could definitely table it for next week.
That's a bet.
Is Matt still on the show?
I'm right here.
All right, I was just making sure.
You kind of blend in with Dan Campbell right there, so I didn't know if it was. But hey, man, like I said, this has been Brick Shots with Billy. I'm gonna have 3 reels for you guys next week. So look for the Facebook page, look for the TikTok and the Instagram. I'll post these reels. We'll boost them. We'll still try to get as many shares as we can. So just fucking give us a like, give us a share. It's not going to cost you anything. Just fucking bada boom. That's it. That's all it is. Tony, you got anything for the people?
Nah. I see y'all next week, where we are in the finals conversation. And then we can move on to the granddaddy of them all, college football.
Bingo. All right, man. Hey, appreciate it.
Oh, shit.
Oh.
Don't forget about Chris's show on Saturday. with Tesla. If y'all want to pull up to the studio and be groupies on Sunday,
pull your titties out.
Yeah, he married, but he likes a nice pair every now and then. So y'all show that to him.
Think to yourself, do you have ugly titties? If so, keep them away.
But that's y'all make sure y'all support Chris in the DFW area, man.
There you go. Appreciate it.